order and convert. And we should have him finish up everything on his part Monday or Tuesday latest. So without any major hiccups, we should be ready to pump fuel in it on Wednesday or Thursday of next week. If y'all have any questions, just give me, just ask me and we'll see if we can answer them.
Yeah, Bob, what's the status on the new hoses? I know I talked to him today too.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's going to order them today.
Okay.
I did talk to him today about the hoses. You know, you mentioned that we need to get new ones because they're got some time on them. I think they're 2005 series hoses and they need to be replaced.
Yes.
But he is going to take new hoses and nozzles, correct.
Bob, are we still transferring fuel, the avgas into that particular tank and using the larger tank for the jet fuel?
The larger tank will be used for avgas. The smaller tank will be jet fuel. Correct, Clay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to get the new big 12,000 gallon tank fully operational before we can switch fuel in order to pump avgas into the airport. That's why we're working to make sure it's fully operational before we make the transfer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any more questions on that particular item?
Kelly, on the fuel swap, we just had to get fuel yesterday. So it's probably going to be 3 weeks before we run that down and then have to get that cleaned. So we've got another 3 weeks to wait on his, stuff to get all wrapped up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, any more questions?
That sounds good.
Okay, we'll go to item number 4. Item number 3, discuss and consider hangar improvements. I think that involves two particular groups of people, Steve Barr and Chris Bahan. The information you have in your packet is primarily for Steve Barr. He's wanting to build a small pilot lounge in the back of his hangar, 5 feet by 16 feet, something like that. Fully enclosed, fully portable and demountable if need be. Just a place for him and his people to kind of relax before they take off and go somewhere. He has it pretty well detailed out what he wants to do, and I didn't see any issues with that whatsoever as far as putting this type of structure in our hangars. But please ask any questions if you have any questions, and I'll see if I can help to answer them.
Should he no longer be in this hangar, would that be a problem to disassemble that for the next person?
No, ma'am. The way he's constructing it is pretty portable. I mean, you can dismount it pretty easy. In fact, he even states that it's fully portable in his proposal.
Yes.
So in the event that he would leave and want to, and we need to get that part out of there, we just roll it out of the way.
Okay.
And, it should not be a problem.
And do you think some of the other pilots will be wanting to do this same thing? Will that be an issue, or no? It doesn't sound like it, but I'm not sure.
I expect it will have some other input because it's always nice to have a place to cool off a little before you leave. And if the hangars are big enough, I don't see a problem with putting them in the back like that. So,
okay.
And most folks are probably going to leave it when they leave. I doubt they'll take it with them. So
Well,
that would stay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it sounds nice.
My only concern is if somebody doesn't want that, who's going to get stuck with cleaning that out? So as far as I'm concerned, they need to, if they want to do it, put up some sort of deposit. So if they don't clean it back out and turn it back over like it was then, then we've got money to get somebody to clean it out. I don't want to be stuck with it.
Absolutely. Well, probably we need to know what they're going to do with it. If they don't want it when they leave, they're going to have to get rid of it. If they want to leave it for somebody else, we may need to ask them to put up some sort of deposit to dismantle and take it out of there. If that were to be the case, he gets away before he takes it out.
Yeah, I think we need some sort of deposit to make sure that they turn the hangars back over in the condition they're in, unless somebody that wants the wants the thing.
Right. And then the deposit would be returned at that time if they didn't want to take it.
Right. Clay and Bob, this is Kelly. I
Yes, ma'am.
had talked with the city attorney on this. And since the final approval will come from the city to do any of these type build outs, he said that we can incorporate into an agreement with them for removal of that to ensure that it's removed when they leave, if that's what we want to do. So we can fashion language such that we can have that removed if that's what you choose to do.
That would be wise to do,
Yeah.
just to make sure, because if you don't want it, it'd be a problem to take it down. You'd have to hire some people to do it or do it on your own staff.
Right.
And then the city would wind up paying for the dumpster fees and all that. So if the language is in there that they have to remove it off-site, then that
Yeah,
takes care of it.
exactly.
Right. Okay.
Is the $50 a month additional rent going to cover the cost of the air conditioning?
He's
I
saying,
believe it.
I think it probably would. Those little units are like 6,000 or 7,000 BTU units. They don't draw a lot of turns, but $50 should cover it.
he sent me, here we go. The unit that he's putting in there draws 4.9 amps.
Right.
And he's only in there, you know, once a month. They have several different homes in different places. So he's only there once a month. They'd probably be on for an hour or two. So I think $50, because most of those light bills, Kelly, and those old hangars are running what, 50, 60 bucks, have been for the last 10 years.
I believe so. I
Yeah.
think that'll cover it.
Well, 50 would definitely do it.
It should be more than adequate. But if y'all don't have more questions, we'll move on to Chris Bayhan's little office.
Yeah, and I apologize for the information from him just being sent out a little bit ago, but I had just received this afternoon his revised drawings for what he's wanting to do in his space as well.
What Chris is wanting to do, I'm sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
No, I was going to say his original information when he requested this was on May 11th, and then he told me that he wanted to revise it, and so I've been holding that until he sent me the revision, and I just got that this afternoon, so that was why it wasn't in your information that was sent out to you.
Okay, and I didn't really go over this, Kelly. So if y'all can just go over and explain to me what he wants to do.
Okay, I think Angela's sharing the screen with the information there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, Bob, if you want to go over that since you've been working
Sure.
with him on that.
Yes, ma'am. We can start from the top. There you go, Angela. That's great. That's a cross section of what he's wanting to do. Originally, he was going to do just a small one-story office that was going to be 10 by 18 in the little inset section of the hangar. After further thoughts about it, he wanted to go ahead and close in the second floor area because we have 19 feet 10 inches of height to work with. And he wanted to extend it out basically with about 3'9" of floor space, with the overhang would be right at 4 foot. Basically, it takes up no more floor space in the hangar, but it just gives him another section to store up on top. Properly done is not a problem. We do this all the time to make for second floor storage. But that's what he's wanting to do, was put a second floor storage on top of the office that he's wanting to build in that section.
Okay.
And then
All right.
it does have a stairway. Yeah, as you can see there, Angela's bringing it up the stairway to at the back to access that second floor.
Second floor, right. It would be railed off, so it's all safety engineered,
Right.
and goes to the second floor, and it just gives him a lot more storage space than he could probably use.
Yeah, him being a mechanic, he needs some storage space, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Yeah, it looks good.
And
Right.
something that will probably stay there. If he ever were to leave, I can assure you that unit won't be torn down. It'll stay there for the next person to utilize.
Bob,
Yes.
this is Rod.
Yes, sir.
He's not showing any handrails on the landing of the stairway there. or am I missing that?
It's probably not there. It was kind of a hasty drawing to get it done to get it to the city, but it will have
Yeah.
handrails. It's got to have handrails. Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe I see it. It's on the bottom there. Okay, next
Yes,
question is, what kind of materials is he storing up there?
I'm sorry.
What is he going to be storing?
He's going to be storing airplane parts, cowlings, probably magnetas, starters, generators, small items like that that are consumable for the aircraft operation.
Okay, you're not concerned about the load with the 2x10s?
No, sir. 2x10s on 12-inch centers with 3/4 plywood carry a pretty good load. I mean, I don't even store a bunch of heavy motors up there and stacking them up. You have to be reasonable with what you want to do. But
Okay.
2x10s is pretty stout.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jennifer has her baby.
Did she?
Yeah, so what we would do in this instance as well is put together an approval letter, such as we would do with the bars, and so that they know that they have to abide by, pursuant to Section 5E of the lease agreement, that the modifications, what those modifications would be per the proposed agreement that they have. Both of these folks would have to sign off on that agreement prior to being able to build out.
Perfect.
I think that's a good idea to have it in writing as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But that's what he's wanting to do, and he's anxious to start. I understand, so we'll I guess address all the necessary paperwork and we'll get it to him.
Okay, can we have an approval by the board to move forward with that?
Would like to make a recommendation that these two gentlemen, Mr. Steve Barr and Chris Bahan, recommend to the city council that they approve their drawings and improvements. We need somebody to make a motion and then a second.
So moved. It's Ronnie.
Mr.
I second.
Danner, and then we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion's approved unanimously, and we'll be ready to go for them.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Item number 4 is discuss and consider future hangar construction. Clay and I briefly talked about this some time ago about some larger hangars. Weren't they like 60 by 60, Clay?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yeah, we just
anyway,
hit
we
the
have
one to the back.
Yes, I think we have room for 4 back there, don't we?
How many?
4.
Uh,
I guess, if the council is in favor to move forward with exploring this possibility of building these larger hangars in the back, then we'll move forward with it. But I guess that's where we're at to decide if that's something we want to move forward with. It's not a bad idea because we do have some people that have larger airplanes that would like a large hangar to put them in.
Bob, I didn't hear how many you said.
Well, 4 of the
4.
60-foot. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
And of course, we would have to do the asphalt paving to get to the present aprons and taxiways. And they also would like bathrooms out there as well. So that would have to be incorporated with a aerobic system. But there is room to put 4 of them in there and maybe a few more, but 4 for sure.
Okay. I think we need that.
Well, there's a lot of interest in it,
Yeah.
more than you'd realize.
Well, I think that's a good idea.
Well, we can move forward trying to get some budget numbers together for the council to review and look at. And
Okay.
if they're in favor of moving forward, we'll address it and try to get real hard numbers and try to get it out to the construction stage.
Okay. Do you need a motion to move forward with it?
Um,
Kelly, do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, I would say a motion for a formal recommendation from the airport board, if that's what y'all want to do, to make a recommendation to council. And then, you know, if we can formalize some costs, estimates to bring to council at a future meeting.
Right. Well, that's what we need. We need a motion to move forward with recommending this to the city council. I'm ready for hangar improvements.
Okay, I make that motion that we move forward with getting
Future
the
hangar construction.
information, future hangar construction with the larger hangars.
I'll second that motion, Ms. Ronnie.
Thanks.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
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 All opposed? No one opposed. Okay, it sounds like it's all been approved unanimously.
Mr. Bob,
Yes, sir.
this is Rod again.
Yes, sir.
What's your time frames or schedule for potential construction on these hangars? Are you looking at next fiscal year?
I don't think you could probably get it in this fiscal year. You know, time you get all the paperwork done, all the design laid out. It'd be nice to start it, this year, but it's got to be funded first. We need to make sure we can fund it.
Okay, that's
Basically, we need to get.
Yeah, that's a
So-
capital project, and so we'll need to arrange the funding. The earliest that we
Yes.
would be able to start would be next year.
I would think so. Yes, sir.
Okay, we will need those budget numbers ASAP, please.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll get busy trying to get you guys some good numbers to look at.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Any more questions, concerns?
Let me just add something. I know that we had, last month, we had 3 hangar turnovers due to people losing their jobs or whatever. And we probably had 15 people on the list. And we went through every one of those before we finally filled them. Actually, we got another guy that came in just right away from somebody's friend to finish filling them. So for right now, in the smaller hangars, but with T hangars, I think we're saturated because when you can go through 18 people and you can't rent a hangar, then it's getting, we're pretty saturated with that. But I know there is interest in some of the bigger hangars for the ends for the bigger airplanes. There's no doubt.
Well, good deal. That's what we're hoping.
If we're building these 60 by 60 hip sheds, you can just add on to them as you go too. You don't have to build a whole bunch of them. So you can build them as you need them.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. I just wanted everybody to kind of know where we're at as far as saturation of hangars at the moment. Okay.
Thanks for that.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, we'll move to item number 5, discuss and consider winsock replacement. That's actually already been implemented, and the winsock has been on order from flight service in Sacramento, California. Should be here next week. It's a 36-inch by 9-foot hoop winsock with LED lighting. It's also operable to break it in half to do maintenance on the pole, so you don't have to get a ladder to get up there. But it should be here sometime next week is what we're hoping.
Sounds good.
It's a nice, very nice unit. I think the city will be very happy with it.
Good. Good.
Right, and the current one we had was damaged in that last windstorm. Is that correct, Bob?
Yes, ma'am. Correct. It was damaged. The pole is bent and the hoop is bent as well. It's in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, we got our money's worth out of that sock.
Right.
We did. We sure did. We actually got the segmented circle mowed today, by the way, and dry enough to get out there to mow it so we can see the segmented circle again.
Good.
But that's what's happening with the windsock. We're in pretty good shape with that. So we'll move to the next item if there's no further questions. Okay, item number 6, discuss and consider runway lighting. Basically, I think maybe Clay, you can help us with that, and maybe Kelly as well.
I think Kelly's got a better grip on kind of where we're at with our, with our planning
Grant.
than I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, I got an email from Miss Becky Vick with TxDOT Aviation. They are ready to move forward with our airport lighting and pavement rehab project that we've been discussing here for a couple of years. They have sent me the scope of work, and we have a meeting scheduled with her, phone meeting on June 23rd at 10 a.m. to discuss the project and moving forward. They want to take it to their commission at their July meeting. And so we'll be discussing that. But this would, engineering and design of this project is going to cost $100,000. Their share, federal share, is $90,000. The local match is $10,000, and that's what they're wanting to move forward with right now. We do have the funds to move forward with the design, so we're hoping that that can move forward pretty quickly. The total rehab project, construction administration, any testing, rehabbing, and marking of the taxiway, replacing the poppy. 1634. Clay, help me if I say it wrong. And then I don't know what MIRL is. Can you remind
That's
me?
the Mylar, but just the lights. It's just lighting system.
That's just the lights. Okay. That total project is $1,110,000. So the local share, local match on that will be $111,000, but that will come after we get through that discussion. We'll kind of know more of a time frame of when the design would take place and how quickly we would move forward with that construction of the actual project.
Yeah,
So I guess, will we need a motion to ask the council to move forward with this request?
Yeah, I think what will happen after we have our discussion with her on the 23rd, then we'll need to bring it back to council to move forward. So we'll see where we're at on that.
So do we need a motion at this time?
Yeah, I think it would be good for a recommendation to come forth to move forward.
Well, we'll need someone to make a recommendation that we move forward on the runway light.
I make a motion that we go forward with this recommendation to go to council on the lighting, runway lighting.
We'll need a second.
Second.
Okay. All
One
those in
question.
favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Kelly, I have a question on that. Is how long a time frame are we thinking before completion of this once we go through council?
The design phase, I'm not sure. I'll know more on that after we have our discussion with them on the 23rd. And so once we know that time frame and then kind of how the construction time frame, I'm thinking it's going to be over the next couple of fiscal years. I don't think it'll all be, coming out of this fiscal year.
Okay. All right. Hope we can move it along quickly if we can.
Yeah, and the design on it may not take very long, and then
Right.
we may be able to get the whole project done next fiscal year. But I'll know more after we talk with her on the 23rd.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have one more
Okay.
thing. Bob, I'm sorry, I have one more thing. It's not on the agenda, but we came out by the airport the other day and I was looking, do we need another sign in front of our airport?
But it would be nice to have a nice marquee out there. They kind of let people know that this is the Cleveland Municipal Airport.
Yeah,
the
the one.
highways.
Okay. It's just a thought. Maybe we can start thinking about that or working on it.
Sure. We can get something sketched out. There's several designs that are out there that would look very nice at the front. Since our airport is really second to none, we might as well let
Right,
people know
yeah.
that it's a great airport.
It really is, and it gets recognized as that a lot.
Yes, ma'am, without a doubt. We'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, item number 7, discuss future planning, development, and project for the Cleveland Airport. Basically, you know, our hangars that we're talking about, the big hangars, the 60 by 60 is another big item for us. But there's also some other folks that we'd like to probably talk to about building more large hangars for restoration work and more aircraft service work. And I know there's a party that's looking at something out there. He hasn't disclosed exactly what he's looking at, but I think he's wanting to buy some property. So we just have to wait and see what he's wanting to do.
Yeah, we'll have some further discussions on that at our council meeting next week with council, and then we'll know where we're going, you know, what avenue we're going at that point.
Yes, ma'am.
I also wanted to say that we've had some discussions with the EDC about possibly donating another piece of property, or we've talked in-house and with staff about it, taking it to the EDC and see if they want to donate some more property for another set of hangars in the future, like they did this last set that we just built and opened. And I think it would be wise for us to have those discussions in some of their upcoming meetings.
Absolutely, because we do need more space. I'm certain we're going to continue to grow, and without land, we can't build any more hangars. So if the EDC has it, we'd like to get some.
Right.
Bob, where are we at, Bob? Where are we at on the ramp in the front that the ag planes tore up?
I understand that the insurance company has paid their
Yes.
claim.
That's correct.
I think we're ready to start it. At some point, I guess we need to get with you guys and Rod. I think we could probably start in 2 to 3 weeks. I talked with the asphalt guy and our lady, and she's good in about 2 to 3 weeks to get out there and get that done. So it's just around the corner.
Okay. And then
Right.
the repairs to the second set of hangars, is that going to happen during that same period of time?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. That's the ideal time to do that.
Is that asphalt work?
Yes, ma'am. It's asphalt work. We're going to cut out some sections in there and relay it inside the cutout. Instead of doing an overlay, we're going to actually cut it out and then implement it right next to the existing asphalt. Make a much needed repair.
Okay.
Now, Kelly, this was some of the stuff that had issues with it, ponding water.
Right.
There, so it's some of the same stuff.
Okay. That's what I thought. Thank you.
I think that's probably it. Any more questions? Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah. Good meeting, Bob.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming and participating to help us guide this along. It's been a long time in coming. And as you all well know, we have an airport that is, like I've said many times before, second to none. And it shows it. You know, when you look at it from the air, it's an impressive facility, without a doubt, for our community. Just very impressive. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for taking the time to come visit and give us input to help us move this thing along so we get a continuing airport that continues to grow. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Clay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
I guess we'll need a motion to adjourn.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So moved.
Ronnie Dennis.
Okay.
Second the motion. We're
I
all
second.
done.
Jennifer.
Okay. Hey, that's a great
Jennifer,
photo, baby. That's great.
Look at that little
Looks wonderful.
Jennifer's
Okay.
got her baby.
That's it. that what Bugs Bunny says? That's all, folks.
Oh. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank y'all.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Ella.
Bye.